Crude oil prices menacingly soared back towards $100 a barrel mark on Thursday morning as news about more ships being hit in the Gulf by Iranian missiles spread. Equity markets tumbled. The vessels were stuck in the Strait of Hormuz and in Iraqi waters. However, the present price line seems modest against the threat of $200 a barrel that Iran has held out as the war with the US and Israel continues. On the morning of the 12th of March 2026, Brent crude futures jumped as much as 7.8% to reach $99.82 per barrel. On the other hand, US crude surged close to 7% to touch $94.02 per barrel. The worrying part was that the crude prices surged in spite of the IEA, that is the International Energy Agency, plan to release the highest amount of 400 million barrels of oil from its reserves. As a part of the IEA plan, the US pledges to release 172 million barrels of oil from next week onwards. On Wednesday morning, it was reported that Brent futures were trading at $87.57 a barrel, down 23 cents or 0.26%. While US West Texas Intermediate, that is WTI, was down 37 cents or 0.44% and was trading at $83.08 a barrel. In a show of its willingness to fight on, Iran said the world should be ready to buy crude oil at the unthinkable price of $200 a barrel. Though the war began on February 28 with the combine of the US and Israel unleashing missile attacks against a seemingly far weaker Iran, and despite sustaining major damage and destruction, Iran has vowed to carry on the fight and create an energy crisis around the world, which is a lever against US President Donald Trump. The all-time high of Brent crude was witnessed in July 2008, and the price level was $147.5 a barrel at that time. On Wednesday, as many as 3 vessels were reported hit in the Gulf waters. Iranian forces fired on vessels in the Gulf that violated its orders. Iran has stopped the movement of ships along the Strait of Hormuz, which carry 20% of the world's maritime consignments of crude oil. Iranian attacks have also compelled countries in the Gulf, such as the UAE and Saudi Arabia, to suspend operations in many gas fields and petrochemical complexes, creating further crisis in the gas market as well. US President Donald Trump said that the decision to end the war lies with him, but has not committed to a timeline for halting the military operations. However, the pressure on Trump to end the war is also growing at home. US consumers have already suffered a round of rise in retail petrol prices by more than 14% since the war began. By the middle of the day, the 12th of March 2026, Brent crude oil prices had crossed $100 per barrel. They had reached $101.59 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate WTI had surged to over $96 per barrel.